Hello friends, this is Rashmi Singh and welcome to my channel Unraveling Science. Today's topic is Tissue, Chapter 6, Class 9. What are tissues? We know that our body is made up of cells which are the building blocks of an organism. A group of cells that are similar in structure and work together to achieve a particular function forms a tissue. So, a group of cells forms a tissue, group of tissues forms an organ, group of organ forms the organ system, and a group of organ system forms the organism. Are plants' tissues are same as the animal's tissue? Let's see. Plants are stationary or fixed, that is, they don't move like animals. Since they have to be upright, they have large quantity of supporting tissues. These supporting tissues generally has dead cells. Animals, on the other hand, moves around in search of food and shelter, so they consume more energy as compared to plants. Most of the tissues they contain are living. Plant tissues. They are of two types: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues are responsible for growth and development as they contain cells which continuously divide to produce new cells. Permanent tissue consists of mature cells that have stopped dividing and perform special functions like photosynthesis, storage, and support. Meristematic tissues. These are simple living tissues having thin-walled, compactly arranged immature cells which are capable of division and formation of new cells. Meristematic tissues are classified into three types on the basis of their location. First is apical meristems. As you can see in the picture, it is present at the growing tip of the stem and roots. Cell division in this tissue leads to the elongation of the stem and root, thus involved in primary growth of the plant. Intercalary meristem. These are located between the nodes of stem and the base of the leaf, and they play a key role in the process of branching and are responsible for longitudinal growth of plants. Lateral meristem. They are present on the lateral side of the stem. Unlike apical meristem, which promotes vertical growth, lateral meristem facilitate horizontal growth by increasing the girth or the diameter of the stem. Permanent tissues. They are formed from meristematic tissues. These cells in the tissue lose the ability to divide. Permanent tissues are divided into two categories: simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. First, we'll see simple permanent tissues. They consist of only one type of cells. They are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma. These are composed of loosely packed cells with thin cell walls and large intercellular spaces. They are living cells and play roles in support, storage, and photosynthesis. Chlorenchyma. It is a type of parenchyma tissue which contain chlorophyll and perform photosynthesis. Erenchyma. It is also a parenchyma tissue which present in aquatic plants. Due to large air cavity, they help them float. Collenchyma. These tissues are characterized by cells with irregularly thickened corners providing flexibility and support to the plant part. They are living cells and help prevent bending or breaking of stems and leaves. Sclerenchyma. These tissues are comprised of dead cells with thickened cell wall and containing lignin. They provide rigidity and support to plant structure. Complex permanent tissues. These tissues are composed of more than one type of cells working together to perform specific function. Examples are phloem and xylem. Phloem. It consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber. It transports organic nutrients such as sugar in both directions within the plant. Phloem fibers are the only dead cell in phloem tissues. Xylem. It consists of xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. Xylem tissues are responsible for conducting water and minerals from root to the rest of the plant. They provide structural support and storage capabilities in addition to the transport functions. Now let's see the difference between xylem and phloem. So xylem is made up of dead cells while phloem is made up of living cells. The cell wall is thick in xylem and thin in phloem. Xylem cell wall is made up of lignin, which is rigid, and phloem cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cell wall in xylem is impermeable and in phloem it is permeable. There is no cytoplasm in xylem. Phloem has a cytoplasm lining. Xylem transports water and minerals, whereas phloem transports food. Now xylem carries water and minerals to leaf and phloem carries the food to growing parts and storage organs. Direction of flow is upward in xylem and in both direction in phloem. So let's take a look. Plants' tissues are of two types, meristematic and permanent. Meristematic divide throughout life, permanent lose ability to divide further. Now the meristematic are again divided into apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem, whereas permanent tissues are divided into simple and complex tissues. Simple tissues are of three types, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Complex tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem. So this is all about the plant tissues. Now let's study animal tissues. Animal tissues are of four types, epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and nervous tissue. So let's study epithelial tissue. They serve as a protective covering of both internal and external surface of the body as well as the lining of various organs, cavities and vessels. The main function of epithelial tissue includes protection, absorption, secretion and sensation. There are several types of epithelial tissues. First is the squamous epithelium. This type of epithelium is composed of thin flat cells that resemble scales or flattened plates. They are tightly packed and form a smooth continuous layer. They are well suited for facilitating the exchange of gases and fluids. They are of two types, simple squamous epithelium. They are found in the area where filtration or diffusion occurs, like lining of blood vessels, air sacs in the lungs. Stratified squamous epithelium. It provides protection against mechanical and chemical stresses. They are found in the outer layer of the skin. Next type is cuboidal epithelium. They are of cube shape and with centrally located nucleus. They line the wall of small ducts and tubules in various glands and organs, including kidney tubules and salivary glands. They are involved in secretion, absorption and excretion process. When organized into glands, cuboidal epithelium cells form glandular epithelium, which secretes substances such as enzymes, hormones and mucus. Next is columnar epithelium. These cells are tall and elongated with their nuclear typically located near basal surface. They are found in the lining of gastrointestinal tract, of stomach, small intestine and large intestine, and parts of respiratory and reproductive system. They are specialized for absorption, secretion and protection. In areas where cilia are present on the surface of columnar cells, they form ciliated columnar epithelium, which helps in the movement of mucus and particles along the respiratory tract. Next type of tissue is muscular tissue. These tissues help with the movement of body. They are long fiber-like cells called muscle fibers and are capable of contraction and relaxation. They are of three types: striated muscles, non-striated muscle tissue and cardiac muscle tissue. So striated muscles, they are also called voluntary muscles because they are under the control of one's will. Striated muscles are multinucleated and unbranched. Each fiber is enclosed by a thin membrane called sarcolemma and cytoplasm is known as sarcoplasm. These muscles get tired and need rest. Non-striated muscles, they are involuntary muscles not under one's control and also known as smooth muscles. The muscle fibers are uninucleated with one nucleus in each cell and are spindle shaped. These are not enclosed by membrane, but many fibers are joined together in bundles. They are found in the walls of stomach, intestine, urinary bladder and bronchi, etc. Third is cardiac muscles. These are also involuntary muscles which are found in the walls of heart. They are uninucleated and branched. Branches are unified by intercalated disc. In these muscles, rhythmic contraction and relaxation occurs throughout the life. Next is connective tissue. They are loosely bound cells present in an intercellular matrix. This matrix can be of different types: dense, rigid, fluid or jelly-like. These tissues are specialized to connect various body organs and are of following types. First is areolar tissue, which are found in the skin and muscles around blood vessels and nerves, etc. You can see here in the picture. The adipose tissue, they act as a storage site of fat found between internal organ below the skin, acts as an insulator for the body. Third is supporting connective tissues. The main component of this kind of tissues are tendons. These tissues are responsible for connecting bones and muscles together. They have a limited flexibility but very great strength. And ligaments. They connect two bones together. They have elasticity that facilitates the connection. And the cells of ligaments have little matrix. Fourth is skeleton tissue. Main component of skeleton tissues are cartilage and bone. Bones tissue is strong and inflexible. Bone cells are present in a rigid matrix that is formed from calcium and phosphorus. Cartilage, it provides support and flexibility to various parts of the body like nose tip, ear pinnate, trachea, larynx. They contain a solid matrix made up of protein and sugar and they have homogeneous matrix. Fluid tissue. Main components of fluid tissue are blood and lymph. Blood, it transports gases, food, waste material and hormones in the body. Therefore, blood has a fluid matrix present in it which is called as plasma. The plasma contains red blood cells, white blood cells and blood platelets. The red blood cells has hemoglobin pigment which carries oxygen to tissues. White blood cells fight diseases and platelets are involved in clotting of blood when injured. Lymph. It is a colorless fluid that contains white blood cells throughout human body in lymphatic vessels. These are lymphatic organs present in the body which produce lymph and together forms a lymphatic system. Some of them are lymph node and tonsils. Fourth type is nervous tissue. These are highly specialized tissue due to which the animal are able to perceive and respond to the stimuli. The functional unit is called as nerve cell or neuron. A neuron consists of three main parts. Cell body, which is called soma. The cell body contains nucleus and other organism essential for neurons' metabolic activities. Axon. It is the longest slender projection that extends from cell body and conducts electrical impulse away from the cell and other neurons, muscles and glands. Axon terminals. At the end of the axon, specialized structure called axon terminals or synapses. Terminals transmit signals to other neurons or target cells through synapses, which are the junctions between the neurons. Let's take a look on a animal tissue chart. So animal tissues are of four types: epithelial, muscles, connective and nervous tissue. Epithelial cells are of following types: squamous, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated and glandular cells. Muscle cell tissues are of three types: striated, non-striated and cardiac. Connective tissues are of areolar, adipose, supporting. Supportings may we have tendons and ligaments. Then skeletal tissues, in which we have cartilage and bones. Then fluid, which have blood and lymph. Thanks for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe.